Welcome back to moveSKILL. Let's look at push-ups. We're going to dive into technique of how to do a proper push-up, how to really engage your shoulders so that you can make the best progress with the push-up. And then we're going to go into some detail about how to, different variations of push-ups that allow you to progress, some easier versions, some harder versions. So let's start with the basic position, plank position obviously. Hand width, hand placement first, right? So you'll notice Kiku here has, her hands are just about shoulder width. Good. And turn sideways, please, Kiku. Notice where her shoulders are relative to her hands. Her shoulders are over and maybe even a little bit in front of her hands. She's not wedged into position. This plank, she's got a nice, her abs are tight, her glutes are tight, her quads are tight, so not only is her body straight here, but it's pretty stiff. Like I can put some pressure on this and she's not going to fold. She's pretty strong this way. So with the nice strong engaged plank, proper shoulder and hand placement, let's see a push-up please. Come all the way down and all the way up. That's it, all the way down one more time, all the way up. Extend through the shoulder and nice extension all the way up here. Okay, let's look at a couple of mistakes. It's very, very common to see just a failure to engage properly here. And this takes two forms. One is this broad general sag, looks like an old rope. But another one, a little more subtle, is where you're not really sagging, but your body's overall straight, but we have this arch here. This is a disaster for your low back. Does it feel good, Kiku? It doesn't even feel good. What happens is your abs are just not engaged right now. So squeeze your abs hard. Notice what happens. We got a general flattening of the low back. Glutes are tight, and again, nice stiff engaged body here. And let's look at the proper way to engage the shoulders. So place your hands in the right width, and if you pull your shoulders up a little bit and now engage properly. Notice what happens. She's pulling her shoulders toward her hips, which is a strong engagement of the lat. One more time please, from unengaged, disengaged to engaged. Do you notice this little bit of rotation here? You will feel your hands turning out slightly. It's not just your hands, it's your arm, your shoulders, the whole thing, the whole structure, turning, externally rotating a little bit. And you should be able to see this or feel it on the floor. So will you lean forward in a plank position there? And when somebody's properly engaging their shoulders, it's a strong lat engagement, and you will see a bit of twisting pressure on the floor on the hands. There's a tendency or a feeling of turning out, doing the snow angel thing. Let's have two good push-ups in this position, please. All the way down, and you can keep that twisting pressure engaged all the way back up. Good. All right, let's turn sideways again, please. Another common fault is the basic placement of the hands. Kiku's going to wedge herself in position a little bit this time. This is really common. This happens with just a general lack of strength in the shoulders, and it's a little bit easier, it feels a little bit easier if you put your hands out in front slightly, but it prevents you from engaging anything properly. And come just a little bit ways down, please, Kiku, and back up. You'll notice a general lack of confidence on the way down. When you start from that wedged position, you start engaging the push-up, come just part way down again, please. It just doesn't look like she's fully engaged, right? Because it's, thank you, because it's hard to engage from that wedged in position. And it prevents you from developing the strength you want. So get those hands under your shoulders. And again, maybe even slightly below your shoulders, behind your shoulders. When we're scaling push-ups or finding different variations so that you can progress, we want to maintain a couple of certain characteristics. One of them is a full plank. Like when you do push-ups on your knees, it messes up the plank and you lose some of the efficiency of the movement, some of the effectiveness of the movement. So full plank and full range of motion, another really common workaround for folks who can't do push-ups very well, is to not go down all the way. That's not a good solution. That doesn't help you develop your push-up. So what we like to do is change the overall angle of your body so that your relationship to gravity changes a little bit. So here we have a bar set up. Kiku's going to get into position by first placing the bar at about her sternum. And that will determine where her feet go. And now she has a good position from which to do the push-up. On the bar, you actually can practice very effective shoulder engagement. You grab that bar and try to bend it. Pull your shoulders tight, and you're actually trying to bend the bar. So far, I've never seen it work, but we keep trying. So bend the bar, pull yourself down. Bar should contact about the sternum, drive all the way back up, get full shoulder extension at the top. And now, even though this overall push-up is a little bit easier than doing it on the floor, it's still all the mechanics of a good push-up. Let's look at some of the problems that you can get into here. If you get your feet positioned wrong on the bar, Kiku's going to get too far away this time. And this is common. It can be hard to judge. And now she's pushing her hands up by her throat or her face. And again, like wedging yourself in position, this just isn't a good way to practice. Or you can get your feet too close to the bar, and now you're pushing kind of in and out from your stomach, and that's just not the right mechanics either. It doesn't have to be a fancy barbell on a rack arrangement. Anything that supports you, supports your hands. It could be a coffee table if it won't move, a counter if it's an appropriate height. In this case, we're going to use some boxes. Anything sturdy that allows you to place your hands at the right width and change your angle, so change your overall body angle so that you can get the effect you need. We ask folks to stay away from knee push-ups. Let me show you why. It's really hard to maintain a good plank position, so go ahead and do a knee push-up. You'll typically see people tend to kind of stick their butt back a little bit, and butt ends up kind of up in the air, and there's just not much engagement through the middle, and so you lose all the advantage of maintaining a plank. If you have to, if you're in a position you don't have a box or you don't have the appropriate angle and you're not able to come all the way down and all the way back up, here's a good workaround. Come to a full plank, and this can work just fine on an elevated surface as well. Do the negative portion of the movement, come down nice and controlled, and then you can come back up on your knees. In this way, you're at least practicing good mechanics on the way down the negative. Negatives are actually great ways to train. And even if coming back up looks really graceless, if you're holding it nice and tight on the way down, this can be very effective. So we've gone over the push-up, proper hand placement, proper shoulder engagement, proper ab engagement for maintaining a nice aggressive plank, full range of motion, and a number of different ways to vary the difficulty of the movement. Hope this helps.